Oh boy. Okay, we're live at least a few minutes late, but we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. And if you're listening after the fact, thank you for listening. I have not had the best of mornings. My computer's was acting up. I was we did some family things yesterday, and I'm in the middle of getting ready for church. And I'm like, okay, we'll just go with it. And then I go to log onto the computer, and guess what happens? Bam, it decides that it's going to tell me it needs to shut down or restart or whatever. And then it locked up, and so you just kind of adapt with it. And I'm here in my home studio. So, good morning, good evening. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. It has been an interesting ride. Well, I just wanted to come on for a few minutes today to briefly talk about some of the things going on. We have our trip to Kenya coming up tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m. I will be sending it out in the newsletter. I'm late getting the newsletter out. As you know, I lost my virtual assistant, and I'm doing this all myself until I find somebody else to fill that spot. So we had family time yesterday. My son's girlfriend's parents are in town. I hadn't met them before. And we went to California Adventure yesterday. And if you're in SoCal and you've been to Disneyland or California Adventure, you probably have your favorite ride. My favorite ride was always Soaring over California. And then they changed it to Soaring over the World, which I haven't seen yet, but I was so sad because Soaring over California is my favoritist ride. I just love it because if you've not been on it, you sit on this, basically you're just sitting on a bench seat. There's several of them, and it raises up depending on what level you're on. And then you feel like you're flying in a plane looking at all the sights of California. And they had changed it to the world, which I hadn't seen. But as of yesterday, Soaring over California was back for a limited time. And I was so happy because I just love that. That just makes me, it's California for its political situations and all the things that go on here with that. It's a beautiful state. You could ski one day, you could ski in the morning and be at the beach in the afternoon. There's beautiful beaches, there's beautiful places to camp, the redwood forest, the Yosemite. There's places I haven't even been yet. Tahoe, which is part of California and Nevada. So it's there's beautiful Mammoth. I've been to Mammoth. San Diego's got a lot of great things to see. And obviously I live in Orange County. The beaches and things in Orange County are amazing. So I just love the scenery here. So that was fun, but I was supposed to get the newsletter out yesterday, and we had dinner Friday night, and then yesterday we were there all day. So haven't done that, but it'll go out if you're on the newsletter list today sometime, probably this evening, because we're going to church with the family in a little bit. But we are tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I will post it on social media, on Facebook and LinkedIn, all the Facebook, the page, the group, and my personal profile. Then on LinkedIn, I think I'll probably share it out on Twitter and TikTok or whatever, just to give people the option to come on the webinar. Now I've tested the StreamYard has a webinar option. You have to do a couple of clicks to get into it. And it's not that difficult, but it's not as simple as just clicking on a link and going in. But it's not difficult. So don't let that dissuade you. Just come on in, ask questions. It's not going to be broadcast live anywhere unless I change to Zoom. I don't think I have the webinar option in Zoom anymore because I wasn't running webinars. Oh gosh, we have paws barking. So I have two sets of paws here right now because my son, who stepped out for a moment, has his dog here. So I have Mbwa Wazimu times 2, which is crazy dog in Swahili. So anyway, I'd love for you, if you're interested, to come on the webinar, get your questions answered. we actually have groups who want to, they've found out about it and it's too soon for them to get their group to go this year, so they're wanting to go next year, but there are individuals who want to go. So whoever is interested in going, that is who will come, which will be great. I would love to have each and every one of you who wants to join me. I'm going anyway. I've opened it up to allow people who want to experience what's going on in Kenya and become part of it, to join in. And I had promised, I think I said on Thursday's B&B Live, that I would have the budget calculated, because I put an estimate out there. I don't think it's going to be as much as I have on the Baskets and Beads Kenya website. So if you go actually to, you want to look about that, you go to basketsandbeadskenya.com, you can find, in the Mission Kenya tab, you can find details of what we're doing on the trip. Now there's one place we're going to a different place for the safari. We're going to Masai Mara. But other than that, and I think I haven't changed that we were going to go to Lodwar, but we're going to stay spend extra time in Mount Elgon. So speaking of that, I have not put that up. So I'm going to do this real time here while I have everybody on, and let me make sure that I have the link right. So maybe you cannot go on the trip. You'd love to go, but you cannot go on the trip. Let me put this in here. Let me add this banner. But you'd like to support in some way. Right here, add banner. Let me put this up. Right here is our fundraiser for the trip. I am working on raising $20,000. I think I've raised almost $1,000. I have to calculate it because some donations have started coming in for various things. What we're going to do with the funds, we're going to fund a mobile medical clinic. We're going to fund school fees for more kids. We're going to provide food packs, maybe some clothing. I have a whole list of things that we are going to be doing with the funds. You can read about it now on this link. Mobile medical clinic, school fees and school supplies, transportation. So we're going to have another women's conference up at Mount Elgon. I'll talk about the farm in a minute. And the transportation's a little bit pricey, so we need some help funding the transportation to get us and our ladies up to Mount Elgon. The next round of farming, that we're going to be doing another round of farming and looking at expanding the farming operation to help more women, food packs for families, clothing and shoes for children, possibly a new sewing machine for our tailoring group, and maybe a rental space for the tailoring group. We want to help them get school uniform contracts. All the kids have to wear school uniforms, and there's a few people that make those. If we could help the ladies to get one contract, that would be great, and help them to build towards sustainability. Our tailoring group is a subset of our group of ladies. Medical care for children and families in the Kipsongo slum, and other necessary expenses. Anything left over that we don't use for that will go towards the Educating Children Fund. We are very passionate about helping educate children. So if you go to givesendgo.com/Mission Kenya, this is an alternative. It's a Christian alternative to GoFundMe. I was kind of concerned when GoFundMe was taking people's money, said, oh, we don't like what you're raising money for, so we're going to take it. And I thought, oh gosh, what if they decide they don't like what I'm raising money for? So I found an alternative. That's the reason it's not on GoFundMe, that it is this one. Actually, when I first put this up, the organization called and left me a message. They said a prayer for the trip, which I thought was really amazing. So go to givesendgo.com/Mission Kenya. It describes what we're going to use the funds for. We are a 501c3 nonprofit here in the US, and we have an NGO in Kenya. So it is all a tax deduction, and it will go to help support the mission that we're going to do there and help get more people out of extreme poverty. And, sometimes people ask me, well, why aren't you doing something here? I do things with veterans. I'm a veteran, and I do things to help and support veterans. But this is where God has called me to serve. I said yes, and it's grown and developed from there. And so while I do things here, I don't usually post about them because some of my veteran brothers and sisters struggle with some things. I mean, I've definitely struggled myself. Oh, I don't have it here. I'm going to talk about that on Mastery Monday. I found my journals from when I was doing work to heal myself from a lifetime of chronic trauma. So I've done a lot of that. And sometimes I work to help behind the scenes other veterans, but I don't talk about that publicly because that's something that's private between me and the veterans that I discuss things with. So I do support things here as a proud veteran, but this is where I'm called to serve. And if you'd like to come alongside me with either going on the trip, I'd love for you to come, or doing a donation of any amount. I'm going to start reaching out to people and asking and also if you know Rotary Club, I have one Rotary Club that's been supporting me, but if you're a member of Rotary Club and uh, would like to take on one of the projects, like either the mobile medical clinic or the educating children or the farm, to help raise some funds for that or provide funds for that, please send me a message. You can message me here on Facebook. You can, I know one person has, and I need to get back to him. I take a long time to do things because it's me and Vanessa here and Layla in Kenya, and having lost some of the help I had, it makes it even more on my plate, and I work a corporate job on top of it, so I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and sometimes it takes me longer to respond to things. And know that if you send me a message and I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. I am working through all the things that I have to do and trying to get them done as quickly as I can. But when you have more to do than you can possibly do, and need to make sure you have balance in your life, that's kind of what happens. So anyway, givesengo.com, Mission Kenya, for that. So I just saw my thing says Swahili Sunday. It's supposed to be Swahili Sunday. My banner says Swahili Sunday, so I just caught that. I was I was late getting on because of computer problems, so forgive me for the typo. All right, let me give you an update on the farm. Layla was going to be on today, but she's not been feeling well, and she's not been feeling well for a while. And would ask that if you're someone who prays and believes in the power of God's healing, that you include her in your prayers. She has been feeling really sick for a long time, and the doctors don't know what's wrong with her. And I had something like this happen to me. I always believe it's an attack to try to stop things that we're doing, for the kingdom of God. So I would ask you to pray for her. She's on the cover of our new brochure. This is our new brochure that we have going to that goes to anybody who purchases something. I am going to have them on display when I do pop-ups, and if wholesale customers get these, it just describes our whole mission, everything we're doing here, places to connect with us. Here's our educating children panel, which is right here. And then we got our new hang tags as well, which are really cool to go on our products. I shared about that actually on B&B Live, but this is Layla. She's our director in Kenya. She's amazing. I've been working to try to get her involved more in so you can understand what's going on her side. But she had pneumonia for a while, and she's been really not feeling well. So if you pray, please pray for her healing, pray for her complete recovery, and that she would be healed. I'm heading to Kenya in 3 months, and I need to be energetic, and as well as she, because it's a lot of work it's a whirlwind of activity, which is why I take some measures. And I'm going to recommend this when I talk about anybody who wants to come. I always take some measures to have a long enough layover to pop in a shower. So the flight to Kenya it's about from LA, depending on where you go from the US, it's maybe less hours or whatever. But flying international, they expect you to show up 3 hours before. So, and that's LAX. LAX. I always fly out of LAX because and I'll explain all this tomorrow. But I like to fly out of LAX because it's an international terminal and I can get a flight straight to Europe. If I were to fly out of Orange County, which is more convenient for me, I would have to go and change planes somewhere. And then coming back, that means I have to clear customs and get my luggage twice. And because you have to clear customs the first place you enter the US. For me, that's not a very good option. I forgot I booked the flight incorrectly and had to go back through Portland, I think it was, and I had 5 bags and I had to get them and try to wheel it myself. Thankfully, uh, one of the security there helped me wheel the cart because it was going up a hill and oh my gosh, it was awful. Anyway, oh, thanks, Joan. Thank you. Appreciate your support. You should come to Kenya with me. Appreciate you. Thank you for donating to support Baskets and Beads and the work that we're doing in Kenya. Um, I always allow you can get the 3 hours before. It's 11 hours to Europe and it's about 8.5 hours to Nairobi. So you add those times up and then you have a layover in wherever you go. If you go through, usually I go through, and there's different ways to go. I fly Delta. Delta goes through either London, Paris, or Amsterdam. And if I go through London, I don't really get any rest because I always visit my buddy Claire, who I miss dearly and very much. So I usually book enough time so I can come off the plane and go visit her. Actually, one time she was busy and yes, I know, Joan. There'll be a day where you can travel more. Well, there's a space for you to come to Kenya. So uh, the um, the oh gosh, the when I go through one time coming back, I had an 8 hour layover. I've done that twice coming back through Paris. Well, of course, I still allowed some time to take a shower, but I went and wandered around Paris. I actually met up. My friend Claire couldn't meet me when I was supposed to go through London. A storm rerouted me, so I ended up going through Amsterdam anyway. Coming back, I was coming back through Paris, and I had an 8 hour layover. So she met me there, and we wandered around Paris for about 6 hours or so, and then I hopped back on. She went back to London, and I hopped back on the plane, came back home. So I did get a shower, though. I always allow enough time to be able to take a shower. Why is that? Why is that important when you're traveling that long of a distance? Especially with, I don't have time to hit, and I'm not going for vacation. We do some rest at the end. I'm not going there. This is not a vacation. This is work. We hit the ground running. We start running around doing stuff, getting stuff ready. This time we are going to be, and I'm going to be talking about that on B&B Live. We're going to be making probably dresses and skirts this time around to test those because I brought a dress back from Kenya and I've had so many people ask if we make those. So we're going to make some of those. And then so we have to go down to, no, let me take that back. We get to go down to Nairobi in Eastleigh to the fabric district, which I love. I love African prints. They're so beautiful. And so we go there and we pick the fabrics we're going to use for whatever we're making, whether it's aprons, pillows, table runner sets, dog bandanas, skirts, this time dresses. So we'll do some of that and make some of that happen. So that's why I plan that. So when you go on a long trip like that, you need to allow, because there's jet lag and there's your body's on a plane for a long time. I always recommend people wearing compression socks. I do getting up and doing some stretching on the plane because that's quite a long haul. So you need to do some things to take care of yourself, and taking a shower in between those flights is refreshing and it helps. By the time I get to Nairobi, I'm still kind of tired, but I don't feel as bad as if I hadn't taken a shower to refresh myself. And it's not just about taking a shower to get clean. It's the refreshing that it does to your body and having the time away from all the crazy of the airport and just some time to disconnect. So I highly recommend that. Anyway, I want to talk real quick about, oh gosh, we're leaving for church in about 15 minutes and I'm not even ready. Where I wanted to share a little bit about the farm. Layla is going to come and talk about the farm. We are very close to harvesting our first set of crops. Thankfully, rain showed up in Kenya. We had rain for a few days, I think last week, but we do have an irrigation system in place as well to make sure that the crops get watered. So we're growing cabbage, and it should be by the end of the month, I think, that we'll be harvesting. And I hope to have some video and photos as they're harvesting the crops. So Pastor Hezron, Layla, if you're listening, make sure to get some video and photos of the crops as they're harvested. I can't see it. I can't be there to see it. I'd love to be there to be part of it. And then we're going to grow onions next. And then I think after that, we're growing potatoes. So this is something that's providing not only income for the women who are doing it, and a lot of these women are, I think almost all of them are widows. And I met them the first time I was there, but there were over 200 women. So I'm not sure which women it was, but I have met them by video. So it's exciting to hear that and I have a video of them, they're working the land and stuff. So it's going to provide income and food for them. It's going to provide food for our ladies in Kipsongo. And then we're going to sell it at market to be able to reinvest and grow more. And hopefully we're going to expand to a larger plot, because this was a test. We leased this land. We're looking to possibly buy some land. We don't know. We're looking to expand and provide more food, because the problem in Kenya is there is not enough food there for people. We had some food shortages going on here, but they had such a significant, the government doesn't provide food for anybody. Like here in the US, people can get food stamps. If you're in California, you can get CalFresh there, or you can go, there's a lot of churches that give out food packs here. Saddleback Church is one of them. There's other churches around that do that. They have drive-through where you can get a bag of food. Some places had food pantries where you can go like once a month. So if you really had no food, you could find out which food pantries allow that once a month shopping and go around. And when I say shopping, it means free food. They don't have that in Kenya. So we're looking to help solve some of the food shortage crisis there, and be able to feed the people, and also provide them to have a living wage to be able to primarily send their kids to school. So the problem is, especially with our ladies, that we're working really hard in the background to get more wholesale, more retail. We have the space, which I'm not going to talk about here. That's for Thursday. But to provide a sustainable living wage that they can be able to send their kids to school, because if they don't have the school fees to pay to send their kids to school, kids don't go to school, kids don't get educated. Then there's a large population of people who have illiteracy. Then the ability to do certain jobs, it's not there because they don't have enough people who've been educated. So one of our kids, I always talk about him, Alois. I miss him. And Suumu, and then some of the other kids, Alvin and Treasures and Daisy, and just all the kids that Ollie, and we've been helping with school fees. But Alois in particular has an engineer's brain. He's very interested in engineering. And I just want the opportunity to develop each one of those kids in whatever they want to do. No telling what they can do, what their gifts are, what they might be able to do, as long as they get educated. So that's the important part of our Educating Children program. And I still say I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm just going along, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm praying for some volunteers to come alongside, and some other help that I need. If you know of anybody who's a virtual assistant that is reliable, and I just need help with like getting out the newsletter, scheduling this kind of stuff, and not really big tasks, but something that'll help free up my time, because I just don't have time to do it all. All right, everybody, I need to go finish drying my hair and get ready for church. As you see, I'm in my favorite um, fair trade robe that I love so much. So I've talked about this one before. So it's from Tiger Lotus, who has a shop in San Clemente. So shout out to them. I'm actually gifted one of these to my son's girlfriend for Christmas. It's just so comfortable and stylish. Anyway, all right, everybody. I will be putting out the info later today or maybe tomorrow morning, depending on how my schedule goes, about the webinar for tomorrow at 5 o'clock to just answer your questions about Kenya. Again, if you are interested in donating to the cause, givesungo.com/mission Kenya is where you can go make a tax deductible donation. It goes to our foundation, Dynamic Vision Foundation, and you can see all the information there, which we will use the funds for. So I don't take a salary from the nonprofit. I have a corporate job. So none of that money is going to go in my pocket. And one day I'm hoping that we'll have enough funds to cover a lot of my expenses, but I've been funding my own expenses now because I want to make sure until we're at a point where we have maybe some larger donors to be able to support even my travel to Kenya. But my first priority is to get the things done that we want to get done in Kenya, and hopefully you'll be able to help with that. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great Sunday and rest of the week, and I will talk to you soon. Type it in the comments. Oh, okay, I'll put the link in the comments. Good idea. See, I don't know. My brain doesn't always work right. All right, so I'll put this here. That's a smart idea, so you can go right to it. All right, so there it is. givesungo.com/mission Kenya. So you can click right on that link. It's also down on my Facebook page too. And I'll be posting it obviously every week as we're going along because I have a big goal. So again, if you know any companies, any larger organizations that might be interested in providing a larger donation to help us get to our goal, please reach out to me. You can send me a message through Facebook and I will be happy to for that introduction. All right, or LinkedIn. If you're listening on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me in my LinkedIn profile. And there is one person who has reached out to me. I need to call you. I've not forgotten. I'm only one person. And I can't get everything done at all the same time, so I'm not very quick with stuff, and I apologize. All right, I hope you all have a great Sunday and great week. I will see you soon. Naku Penda.